Prologue. Once upon a time, there wasn't much of anything. But nothing doesn't like to stay that way. So the nothing slowly became villages, which became towns, which became cities. And everyone thought it was pretty good. Until one day, everyone decided it was a really bad idea. And then there wasn't much of anything anymore. But nothing doesn't like to stay that way. And that's where our story starts. The time after all of that, the March of the Mice. Chapter 1. A very special birthday. You wake up in the morning. Your mom is standing in your bedroom. She's trying to get you to wake up. You finally wake up and roll out of your hammock, and she says, "I'm making pancakes in the kitchen. Come on in once you're ready. I'll see you out there in a minute." With that, she leaves the room. You can hear the birds and stuff tweeting outside. I'm gonna leave it to y'all. What do you guys want? It's your birthday. It's also your mom's birthday, coincidentally. In an odd twist of fate, it's not your brothers and sisters' birthdays. You actually ended up being an only child by some fluke. Well, only one out of your own litter. There was another litter before yours where all of your brothers and sisters were from. But try and remember, if you have a sister, you have a sister. You have a couple sisters. Check out belongings. You don't own a whole lot. You're a small farming mouse kid. You do not have a present yet. Though your dad was saying something about going to town in order to go ahead and get some stuff for your mom. As long as you kind of keep it on the DL. If you snitch, he's not going to bring you along. You walk into the kitchen where your mom is attempting to make breakfast. However, your dad walks over and says, "What are you doing?" She says, "Well, it's our son's or our kid's birthday, so I was good." "No, I have it on good authority. It's also your birthday. So you're going to sit down and you're going to have tea with your kid. And I'm going to make pancakes." Your mom gives a bit of a grump face, a little bit of a anger, but she acquiesces eventually. Your dad begins to make pancakes over the fire, and your mom sits and actually has some tea. Request strawberries on this pancakes. It's a bit rich. You live in a tiny town in kind of the middle of nowhere. A small enough town that you don't even have a name for it. So your name is Bree, and you are becoming a teenager equivalent today. And it's your mother's birthday, it's your birthday, and your dad is currently giving both you and your mom pancakes for breakfast. Your dad serves himself up some as well and goes ahead and sits down and says, I know it's your birthday, but yeah, the cattle had a really good brood last night, I noticed. So I was thinking about going down to town, dropping off some eggs. Maybe, is there anything you want from Is there anything you want while I'm out? I'm sorry to do this to you on your birthday. It's a very interesting day to leave, honey. Is there any other reasons that you're going? Now, you asked too many questions for someone whose birthday it is. No. She looks at you. You guys want to say, can I come with you? And also, I like blueberries. To which your dad says, yeah, Bree, I was kind of hoping you could help me out. There's a lot we need to move. She gives you a bit of a look like she knows exactly what's going on, but decides to not bring anything up because there's no real reason to do so. After a bit of a short breakfast, which was very good, your dad is not as good of a cook as your mom, but he can make a decent set of pancakes. Your dad says, I'm gonna go ahead and pull the cart around if you wanna just hang out front, and I'll be right back. He leaves. Cart, not car. You're left alone with your mom in the kitchen. Hug mom. We'll have hug mom as a free action. You hug mom and tell her you love her. Oh, thanks, hun. Now, don't let your dad spend too much. I know what he's like. Okay? Promise me? We'll spend lots of money. You don't have lots of money. In fact, currently speaking, you as an individual mouse are broke. What happened to the giant mouse that makes all the rules? That would be one of the kings. We promise, but we're going to get a big dog. Dogs are dog-sized still, and still predator animals. You brought up eggs earlier that Dad is going to sell. Are they regular egg size? For beetles, yes. They're regular size for beetles. Your dad does a lot of bull beetle farming, and they're not particularly fast animals. However, they're strong, and they're incredibly good at farming. Currently, what's winning is get the stick from your room, ask your mom if she wants anything for her birthday, do a little rat dance, and tell your mom you love her, and then clean up the plates, I guess. The sticks in your room are from the other hammocks. From normally, you would have a room dedicated for your entire, brothers and your sisters and all that, but your brothers and sisters have gone away to go and fight in the war, and so effectively you've become an only child because they're not around. Your mom keeps the sticks and the hammocks ready to go for when they come back. The sticks are for that. They're not necessarily dead, they're just missing. Do you still want to go and get the stick now knowing what it is? You have decided against going and getting your sticks. Ask your mom if she wants anything for her birthday. She says, no, don't. And again, there's no point in telling your father no, because I know he'll buy me something anyway. Just try and make sure he doesn't spend that much, okay? You tell your mom you love her and you do a little dance. Oh yeah, you put away the plates. What does your character know about the war? The war is involving a terrorist organization that has really nothing at all to do with your specific kingdom. The Falling Moon is the kingdom that you're from. A while ago, the Falling Moon kingdom was part of the council, though most people refer to it as the triumvirate now because of the other three kingdoms that are part of it. There used to be inner conflicts between the different kingdoms, but that was since settled due to the creation of the council. The terrorist organization is mostly fighting in those kingdoms because of where they're from. And they are mostly destroying cities and razing towns. It's just a sort of latent thing that's happening somewhere else in the world. You live, way far away from any of the front lines. But because of the way that the council is set up, it's sort of expected that despite the fact that your kingdom's not specifically in the fight, it's still expected that your kingdom puts in some effort to help out, as those other kingdoms would help y'all out as well. Okay, so I can give you more information because I've written all this down and then I couldn't find my book. All right, so the terrorist organization is called the Black Paws. They have just a black paw mark on the their flag. There's the merchant crows, which we'll get into later, I'm sure. But they help trading between the kingdoms. There's the Falling Moon, which is where you're from. And then there's the Sanguinary Line, which is another more aggressive, bizarre kingdom that's part of the triumvirate, or council. Because of, like I said, because of your place in the kingdom, because of the waning power vacuum that's being caused by just the Falling Moon just not being an incredibly strong kingdom, most people are slowly starting to just call it the triumvirate rather than the council. There's the quiet folk who live in another kingdom, and then the Garden Wall, which is another kingdom, which we'll get into all that as well. All right, so let's see what you guys voted. You guys said do the dishes because it's your mom's birthday and you're a nice lad, lass, non-binary. Your mom says, no, your dad's going to be late and we want him home before dinner, don't we? She swats at your hand so you can't help with the dishes. Mom will not allow you to help because she loves you too much. Unfortunately for you, you have a loving mom. You decide to go outside and smell some airs. You're outside now. You're outside your family's tiny little home. It's not much, but it's nice. What's the house made out of? It's mostly made out of compacted dirt. There's a very big tree very far away. The other house is about the same size as your house. Are birds dangerous? Not generally speaking, no. Some are, like owls and stuff like that. Owls are generally aggressive. However, like I mentioned earlier, there's the merchant crows, which also includes some magpies who use airships to go between different towns and kingdoms. There's a nice man named Honda who works down in town, who happens to be an older crow who has since given up flying around too much just because he's got too much, he's kind of old and can't fly as well. So he does the job of just being the sort of representative of the bird merchants that are in this town. Are bats people in this? Yes, but they're nocturnal, so there's that. Your dad comes around by with the beetle and the cart, and he says, "All right, get in." You start going towards town, heading in the little cart. Your dad is the one in the back. You're the one closest. It's not a fast ride, and in fact, you could probably walk much faster. The beetle isn't fast. It's not a particularly fast animal in general, but they are tenacious, they are good at burrowing, and good at tilling ground, and they can carry a great deal more than they weigh, which is incredibly convenient. You notice that there's a very much a lack of eggs in the back of the cart. You kind of knew this was the case because your dad was probably lying on that front. To which he says, kind of sensing what you're thinking there, he says, "So, we're going to town to get your mom some stuff for her birthday. You didn't tell her anything, right?" I got some stuff ordered in through Honda, and I was hoping I could get some stuff. Didn't say anything? Good. Can the beetles fly? They're normally clipped, so that way they can't. Take a moment to enjoy the sunshine. It's a nice day. It's warm, but not too warm. There's a breeze going. There's some clouds in the sky, but it's not too bad. Look at the scenery. Mostly just rolling hills and giant trees. I mean, all things are kind of giant relative to the size of a mouse. You decide to play a rousing game of I Spy with your father. Your dad says, "All right, spy something big and green." A hill. No. Tree. Yeah, it's a tree over there. That one. Right over Abe's house there. He asks Dad what the word human means. He says, "Well, they're around for a while. Some people say they're still around. Big creatures. Violent. Made a bunch of stuff, and then, I don't know." You decide to name the beetle Ringo. Mentally. Humans are generally speaking considered to be dead at this point, or more or less extinct. Or on the road to extinction. And then you decide to sing a little rat song while you hug your dad. Sing for us? I didn't think of any little rat songs. Sing a little bit of a song, and you end up getting to town because you pull into town. Your dad says, "All right, I'm gonna go get some stuff from Honda. You go ahead and here's 5 gold coins. Get yourself something. Make sure you get yourself something for your mom too. 5 gold is more money than you're usually used to having. This is like the equivalent of giving like a 13 or 14-year-old like $40. It's like a decent amount of money. It's like, whoa, that's a lot of money. You generally don't have money because you spend it on things or have bad decisions with Abe where you end up causing problems. Look at the bird through a reflective surface. There's not one around, but you're not sure why you would do that. Are there any animals besides humans that have gone extinct? Cows have had a rough time of it. Birds are real, yeah. Birds generally work with mirrors, yeah. Are cats still real? Cats are real, yes. The bird that you're seeing in front of you is actually just a guy who ends up living nearby town. Um, Rather than working as a bird merchant, he's decided that he's going to just help do communication. So he kind of works as the local postman. However, directly in front of you, you'll notice there's a shop that has the store. So you can go there to get stuff if you wanted to. That would be Honda's shop directly in front of you. See if your friends are around. You see Emily around the corner. She's not really a friend as so much as she's someone who, like, every now and then catches your eye and vice versa, and then she runs away. Clothing is kind of optional. It's not a big thing. When you say greet bird, do you mean the mailman bird here, or do you mean go to the merchant, which is Honda? Both? Well, the bird, yeah, the mailman bird is right outside. He said, how you doing today? Family good? He says, yeah, you know. Goes, nice day. It's been nice out. Nice warm. Not too bad. Not too bad. Okay, shopping time. All right. You go into the shop. You don't see Honda anywhere. Your dad's in there right now. He says he's in the back getting I'm getting your mom a nicer hat. The one she's got is kind of falling apart. What are you thinking? Honda, go ahead and comes into the room. He says, here's your hat, sir. Looks very nice. Your dad hands over about 6 gold pieces for it, and it's very nice. It looks like it's made out of some durable, silky material. Oh, Bree, you're here too. Happy birthday, Bree. Were you thinking about getting something for your mom as well? Well, Honda's an older bird. He can't really fly anymore. And one of the things that the merchant crows do is rather than, just retiring people, they are, they're hardworking people. They don't like to just not. And whilst having the job of being a, town shopkeeper is a usually venerated position, and Honda, well known for his ability to get good deals and be able to trade well, opted to, rather than work at a big city, to work in a small town. He said he'd rather relax and not have to worry too much about hustle and bustle. He figures the small town life kind of suits him more. It's always good to keep your hands in an old age lest you lose your strength. Yeah. Take a peek at the books. There's a series of books on the shelf, mostly to do with, like, adventure stories involving brave knights and that sort of thing. Is interspecies bigotry common? Not so much. The birds are not even really part of the council. They're officially not, though the Falling Moon Kingdom is attempting to have them and the octopus people the ability to be part of the council. Probably more so as a power grab than any sort of, like, nicety. But are rats and mice different races? Yes, they're different species entirely. Octopuses, generally speaking, are the only creatures that come out of the water too much that are, like, oceanic. You have frogs and toads and stuff like that. Fish, generally speaking, aren't smart enough to have any sort of say in the world, but the octopus have their own kingdom under the sea, and being that mice can't really swim and can't do much aside from fish, have made a agreement with them that, assuming that they just use the waters for travel and use the inner lands like the rivers and the lakes for fishing, they don't bother really with the travel of as far as the books, it's mostly stuff on adventures and stuff like that. It says, save our money because Dad might try to blow it all out and Mom will be disappointed. You kind of give your dad a look because he did kind of do exactly that. He says, listen, your mom wouldn't buy this for herself, and you know that. Your mom never gets anything nice for herself, and she deserves it. All right? Your mom works hard. She deserves nice things. You want to get your mom a nice warm blanket for the winter. Fresh out of blankets, didn't really think to buy any. It's kind of spring right now. It's not really necessary right now. I'm sure you could get something commissioned from somewhere in town. Same thing goes for capes. Let's see. Buy a funny hat or a sparkly little cape. I sold a hat earlier today. I got my hat. Aside from that, I don't really have much in the ways of hats. Save our money because Dad might try and blow it all out. Is there magic in this world? There are people who believe in magic in this world. Your dad goes ahead and leaves the room for now. He's gotten what he wants, and he actually probably should sell the small allotment of eggs that he brought with him to town. The merchant crows generally work by having people like Honda work at any individual show or store, and then the airships will come by. They'll trade resources from there to make sure they have new stock, and then use whatever is traded in to go ahead and buy more stuff. The egg prices right now are fairly low, but your dad is going to go ahead and try and sell some anyway just because. Food is generally at a premium at any sort of bird shopping area because it's hard to farm as a bird. Pretty much impossible to farm as a bird. So there's sort of a mutual relationship that's gone on between the mice and the birds in that the mice can harvest and plow fields, and the birds can travel great distances in order to create more exotic meals and more varied objects for the mice to have. Is the airship a dirigible? It's sort of a dirigible, yeah. It's stays aloft like year-round and just kind of flies in circles around the continents, dropping off supplies and going from place to place. For older birds who can't fly anymore, they usually drop down someone to go and get the supplies just because it's too difficult to do that. When you say retire, he's a hardworking guy, you know? Retire is sort of a relative thing. Is the falling moon a tyrannical kingdom? No. The kingdoms are relatively chill. Tyrannical is obviously subjective. Some people were like, what gives them the right to rule? But generally speaking, there's not much taxes here in the falling moon. And though there's not a whole lot of, aid, they also don't ask anything of you. They just sort of let you do your thing, and if there's some major issue, some military soldiers will come by and help out. But what are the taxes like? Usually it's just like some amount of food and that kind of thing is ended up given. Let's see, budget only half our money, save the rest. Browse books for anything specific or interesting. It depends on like what kind of stuff you're interested in. There's definitely lots of books on adventurers and that sort of thing. Mostly stuff to just kind of, cheapo books, maybe a gold a piece to give you just sort of something to read. It's not uncommon to go ahead and sell these back. And so a few of them are fairly worn down, but mostly books on just stuff going on. Fiction. Dime novel equivalents. Cheapo stuff. You ask about the scroll, he just says, it's a map of the local area. Just nice to have. Kind of pretty. Save your money so Dad doesn't get in trouble. The map is selling for about 2 gold. The books are selling for 1. With that information, do you guys want the map or the books? Yeah, you're a youngish mouse. 13, 14, 15, somewhere in that range. Like, not actually 13, 14. I didn't bother to look up how old mice live, so I don't know. But they live longer than they used to because they have a society that takes care of them and that sort of thing. How do medieval mice explain all the radiation? Radiation isn't really much of an issue for a majority of animals. It's something I looked into. A lot of animals just don't have problems with it. It's weird. If you look at, like, Chernobyl, like, a lot of animals are just fine. It's like why you can't pet the cats in Chernobyl. You're not in Chernobyl. I'm just saying, like, Chernobyl is an example of radiation and animals living there without it being a real big deal. You're equivalent to a 13-year-old-ish. Are there prominent religions? Not. There are some religions, but, yeah, it's more of a city folk thing. Alright, so it looks like a lot of people want to buy the map. Knowing that it's 2 gold, it is obviously an option to haggle. You attempt to haggle using a birthday discount by making the cutest eyes possible and saying, "It's my birthday." He looks at you with a little bit of concern in his eyes and he says, "Bree, I can do 1 gold for the map. But that's my final offer, and that's just because it's your birthday." Deal? Take it? Alright, you're 1 gold down and you've got a map now. It's a nice map. It's well drawn. Probably drawn by a mouse somewhere. Is there anything else you wanted while you're here? You thank him. He says, "No problem. Happy birthday." Are music instruments a thing? Sure. A couple people play them around town, just small, like, lutes and stuff like that. It's difficult for mice, but, you know, you work it out. Birds usually sing. Again, no hands, kind of a problem. Is your dad in control of the personal finances? Not so much. It's just your mom wasn't here. They work it out between themselves. You don't really think about the money stuff too much. You guys don't live a rich life, you know, but you do have money. Just enough. A little bit beyond subsistence. You have nice things, but, you know, you're not going to go and buy anything crazy with the amount of money you've got. Do we have any hobbies? Do you? Right now, it seems like dancing and singing. I don't decide what your character is like. Little mouse hobbies. Any social taboos that we should know about? Not anything that you wouldn't expect. Eating dirt. Invading other people's personal space. That kind of thing. Speaking of, you attempt to try and hug Honda. He says, "No. I think that's very nice, but no." You ask for some suggestions for Mom. He says, "Well, we have this nice kettle. I don't know if she has one. I know your mom likes to read. You could very easily get her something like that. You have the map. I don't think she'd particularly care for that, but those are all options. It's a small town. Everyone knows each other. What's the cheapest? I mean, all that stuff's gonna go pretty low. This is the place where you'd get something that's like a little bit impractical. The other places in town are going to be selling like very practical, boring things. Stuff like, you know, harnesses for beetles and buckets and that kind of thing. Nothing that your mom would particularly need or want. This is kind of the place to go if you want to get something kind of weird, like books or kettles or something nice in general. So it looks like a majority of chat wants to get a book. So you opt to say, "I'd like to get a book." It says, "Very well. This story is a fairly new one. It's a new copy. I'll give it to you for 1 gold, if you'd like." And yes, that is the birthday price, he says, before you ask. Both for you and your mom. Deal. Alright. It's a nice book about mice going on adventures to faraway towns, falling in love. It's very nice. I haven't read it myself, but I've been told that it's quite nice. Is there anything else I can help you with? Save the rest? Leave? No? Thank you? No problem. You have a good day. You go back outside. Looks like the bird mailman has left, but you notice that Emily is still over in the corner, kind of eyeing you, but doesn't want to get close. In the middle of the square is a soldier in standard uniform. You don't recognize them, but just a soldier, rank and file soldier. Where's Dad? Dad is out going, like, actually trading stuff. I'm reading that as that's what that means. There are other animals in this universe. One of your brothers got a job on one of the deers that is used for scouting and positional stuff in the military. They have howdahs on their backs, so that way they can be used for long-range travel, scouting, and shooting. It's the sort of equivalent of a submarine or a tank for humans. A deer AT-AT, that's a way of thinking of it. Yeah, there's a howdah is like it's for elephants traditionally, but in this universe it makes more sense for it to be on deer. But like there's like a thing. It's like a padded platform that you can sit on. Insects are still relatively not smart. You decide to walk away from the military mouse and not make eye contact because it's scary and you don't want to talk to him. And so you do a little nervous dance away from the soldier as he tries to get your attention. He says, hey, hey, hey. And you keep walking, trying not to make attention. You walk over to Emily, who's standing next to one of the buildings. Rather than usual, where she would kind of think of something else to do and walk away quickly, she's just sort of standing there waiting for you to come up. She says, so, Bree, hi, happy birthday. I thought you looked cold, so I thought I'd give you, my scarf. Okay, bye. And then she leaves. You now have a scarf. It smells nice. Emily has a habit of sleeping in flowers when she's not needed around her family's farm, so it smells lightly of daisies and lilacs. Immediately equip scarf. You're wearing a scarf now. It's very nice. It's a little bit rough, but it smells very good. What color is the scarf? You're a mouse, so you're colorblind, functionally speaking. But it's a color. You walk back out into the town center. Your friend Abe is there. The military guy is still there. Abe gets your attention and waves at you. He says, hey, dude, how's it going? Abe is what you would consider to be a good friend, and also the reason that you got grounded a lot growing up. Abe has the propensity to make decisions that most people would consider not very good ideas. Hence how he broke his tail recently. He says he climbed all the way to the top of the tree next to his house. You highly doubt that that's the case, but he definitely climbed it to some degree and was able to fall and break his tail in the process. Abe tends to get into trouble quite often, but it's never stopped him from being cheery and welcoming. Alright, ask Abe what's up with the mouse soldier. Yeah, Emily was a little too scared to actually have that conversation with you. Is the soldier wearing boots? Most people wear some sort of boots, yeah. Fact, a mouse could fall from a modern skyscraper and come out relatively unharmed due to how that works because of stuff. Abe also has this tendency of lying. Not in a way that, is bad necessarily, but it's generally not good to treat everything that Abe says as 100% truth. Mostly because he's trying to bulk up what he thinks about himself and that kind of thing. Abe likes to get into trouble. Not intentionally, but he tends to. Like I said, he was generally the reason you were grounded whenever you were growing up. You come up to Abe and you go, hey. He says, hey, happy birthday, dude. I forgot what I was gonna get you. Sorry, man. Kind of forgot. But happy birthday, man. Yes, Abe, what's up with the mouse soldier? He's been trying to get people's attention, trying to let people know how things are going with the war, all that jazz. You know, trying to get people to sign up. I think they're doing another recruiting drive, another draft. I was thinking about signing up this time. I'm old enough now, you know? Sounds like a fun idea. Get involved, get some adventures going, give them bastards a problem or two. They're burning down cities, killing children, women, man. It's not cool. It's not cool, man. From what you know, that is a thing that is happening. The Black Paw tribe is burning down towns and killing women and children. Slowly moving towards the center of kingdoms, going towards capitals and so on and so forth. Mostly doing more or less guerrilla warfare out on the outskirts. The military has also been helping with a local pirate problem that has been more or less dealt with by everyone just sort of acquiescing to the pirates' demands. Usually it's common to keep a little bit of gold or some resources on you to just sort of get rid of the pirates. Generally they won't hurt you as long as you don't try and fight back, but the pirates have become a fairly large problem in this area. The military has some say in the ability to stop that, but most of the forces are being taken to fight on the main front against the terrorists. Mice pirates. It's my birthday today. Isn't that poggers, dude? You say to him. And then you do a dab. He goes, yeah, man. It's awesome. It was my birthday a while ago. It was pretty good. You get anything? Generally speaking, the army has been relatively helpful. Less so recently because of the, the war effort. But the fact that you can get goods in and out of the city without having to worry about being attacked by pirates is pretty good. That is a huge bonus. Are capybaras real, and how sentient are they? You don't know if you've ever heard of a capybara. They probably exist. Not known in this area. Are ants a problem? Not particularly. Are there large animals? Yes. How big of a problem are predators? Most of the creatures are sentient at this point. With the exception of a handful that aren't, like deer and fish. Most animals have worked it out one way or another to not murder each other. Or at least not sentient creatures. Similar to how humans work. You don't just, walk up to some random person and eat them. It's weird. Carnivorous animals? Wolves and stuff exist. Bears exist. Still an issue, but, bears are generally not sentient, so that is an issue. But hopefully you don't run into any bears. Owls are rumored to eat mice. It is not uncommon for pirates to use bears as their mounts going to war. In a similar way to the military uses deer, bears are generally considered way too aggressive and difficult to handle for a military purpose. Their aggressiveness is also incredibly not good for but they apparently, rumor has it, ride bears with their howdahs. But this does mean that pirates are aggressive as all get out because you have to feed a bear. What early level of technology is this game? Guns exist, but they're not super common. It's usually too expensive for, an average person to have a gun. Somewhere around, World War II, Civil War-ish. Renaissance might be fine, yeah. So you say, Abe, we've been friends for many years. I love you like a brother. Do not join in the war effort. Please, God, you're injured. He goes, brah, it's not even a big deal. And listen, man, last time they passed me by, and you know how that upset me. But we gotta get in on this, man. You really want to be here? You really want to be here in this tiny town doing, farming? Is that what you want, man? There's nothing here, man. There's nothing here. We gotta, and, you hear the stuff coming from the east and hear about all the stuff that they're doing there. Sounds bad, man. Sounds real bad. I don't want that. What if they come here? You decide to change subject and go, Emily gave me this scarf. And you show him the scarf. It's nice, man. It's real cool. He does his best to not seem jealous at all. Tonal whiplash. Yeah, a bit. No, that's right. That's cool, man. How does Mom feel about the war? She doesn't talk about it much. She thinks of it as a necessary evil. She would rather it weren't her kids going off to war. But she also understands that her kids are, able to make their own decisions. It's, the fact that the soldiers help out with the pirate raids and, stop the terrorists from burning down the whole Eastern Front is kind of awesome, but kind of sucks that people have to go to war. Did our siblings join the war on their own, or were they drafted? They were drafted. You were too young at the time. It's generally considered a thing that you have to do. Though the war isn't actually coming to the Falling Moon Kingdom's doorfront, they're expected to lend aid to the other kingdoms because an attack on one is an attack on everyone, and they have to come together as a group. What's the drinking age? You live in a farm town. What are you even talking about? What's the drafting age? You would be young if you got drafted, but you're definitely in that range. You probably could have been a year or two ago, but What happened to our Gam Gam and Pap Pap? You know, age. Abe, don't believe everything you hear. This is what? Say, the military's cringe, and you're too based and poggers to go. Says what? Because he has no idea what the hell you're talking about. I'm a lover, not a fighter. Okay. Abe, let's become pirates, not soldiers. You think about saying, but then remember that his dad was killed by pirates. You decide against saying that. This might be something that causes him to want to, I don't know, join the military, but he's, so you decided probably against that. But you think about it really hard. You go, anyway, I'm gonna go find my dad, because we gotta get home soon. Poggers means good. He goes, oh. Okay, thanks. I'm gonna go talk to that guy over there. Your dad shows up around the corner. He gives the military guy a kind of side eye and goes, all right, come on, Bree, let's get out of here. You start heading back on the trail home. He says, all right, so I know you saw how much I spent. I need you to do me a big favor, kid. And don't tell your mom how much just tell her that I haggled. Okay? You know she's not gonna take it if it's expensive, right? One that much. You have 7 siblings. They're not necessarily dead. They just haven't been home in a while. Do beetles make noises? Just kind of like weird scuttling snurts. Not much. This beetle has a proclivity for drumming. Okay. Is that because you decided his name was Ringo? You told Dad about the scarf and about Emily and everything went on there. And he says, oh, that's good. She's cute, you know? You, y'all, what do you think? He says, like a dad who doesn't want to push his own opinions on you. Chat's just smiling and winking. And then weird faces. And just general embarrassment. Awkward silence. I don't know. I mean, like, listen. You know. It's normal for, kids of y'all's age to, you know, start dating. She's nice. Yeah. You know. Chad is generally acting embarrassed. But Dad, I'm gay. Yeah, okay. She's just a friend, Dad. Okay, alright. You know. Just asking questions, making small talk. It's a long ride, you know. Slow beetle. A little bit later, you say. I'm a little worried about getting, drafted. Yeah. Saw him too. I think it's about that time that they start drafting again. The war apparently is going pretty rough over there. I was talking to some people today about it. Don't really want to get into it with your mom. Just make her worry, but, yeah. I don't know. You didn't go and talk to him, right? I mean, listen, I'm really grateful for what they do for us. I'm really grateful for them taking care of, the kingdom and making sure that everyone's safe, and that's great, but I don't know. You give him the leftover coins and say, let's agree that you saved this by haggling. Kind of gives you a look. He goes, you get something for yourself and something for Mom? You show him what you bought. That's nice. She'll like that. She does like to read. Lay in the evenings, get some tea, read a book until the light goes down. There's one main continent that all these kingdoms are on. You live on that one. The continent. Well, I mean, like, consider how much land a mouse needs. Doesn't need a lot of room, you know? Does Dad support LGBT rights? I talked about this in some of the art streams leading up to this. That's not, like, a thing. Insofar as, like, no one cares if you're gay. It just has no relevance. Like, it's, sure, you're gay. There's no, like, pride flags for anything. Because there's just no point to it. That's why your dad is like, you like her? Ask him about what the soldier was doing in town. Well, he was probably trying to find people to draft. I saw Abe looking at him, something fierce, and I don't I don't really care for that, but his dad died to those pirates, and I don't blame him for wanting to join up, trying to get rid of them, but, I don't know. I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. And just keep a little extra money on the side, and that way we can handle it if we get raided, and we'll be fine. But that war off in the east is getting pretty bad. I hope your brothers and sisters are alright. I don't mean to scare you, but it's looking bad, looking real bad, and I don't know why they're doing it. You know, I really don't. But they're bastards, all of them. Sorry, I shouldn't curse in front of you, kid. All right, everyone's upset. I'm gonna say bastard. You say, yeah, they're bastards. Bree, watch your mouth. You know how upset your mom would be if she heard you talking like that? You said it first. Well, do as I say, not as I do. Your character understands the concept of death as a reality. Yeah, you live on a farm. You have to kill things to survive. What happens in the cart stays in the cart. We're covering for you, Dad. How does the Falling Moon King come when it comes to PR? Does he make appearances? Like I said, like he's trying real hard to try and make it so that way both the octopuses and the bird merchants are part of the council, because he feels like that they are underrepresented and should have representation in the government. The oceanic peoples, the alliance under the ocean, does not care at all as long as no one's fishing in the ocean. The bird merchants are up for the idea, but don't really have their foot in the door outside of whatever the Falling Moon Kingdom is doing. It would allow them to bargain a little bit better and have better chance at not being taxed to all get out. But are crabs people? Crabs are a thing, but they're not around here. But generally speaking, the king of the Falling Moon Kingdom is considered a good guy. Though he is the last in his line, and part of a bit of a conspiracy going around, though that you don't know if you believe it or not, is that he's only really trying to gain the favor of those two kingdoms in order to basically buy himself a little bit more time to hold out his own kingdom and maybe have some sort of line of succession going. You arrive on home. You notice your mom's out front talking to a different soldier man than the one that you talked to in town. He gives a quick little salute and moves on, walking down the road to go to other houses. He looks like he's headed towards Abe's house. Your dad goes ahead and skips getting, the beetle hitched as proper and runs on over to your mom, as do you. You've been drafted, is the only thing that she's able to say. And I believe that is where we're going to go ahead and end this for the day. That's as far as I've written. Thank you guys for coming out. This was edited by OrthogonalCaster in order to make things easier for y'all. Just cut out some of the voting time and that kind of thing where he saw fit. Hopefully it made it a little bit shorter and a little bit easier to watch. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you.